5-4 this season against the Giants with 3 one-run losses. And Andy Ashby, well, he's never very good against the Giants. And top second, Trey Garman lookalike Jay Snow fouls the pitch off his knee. He's down in pain. Snow came in leading the NL in RBI with 21. Same at bat, he grounds out to first, and you can see the big fella in trouble. And Snow, a big bruise, and he's not coming back. Top 5, 3-2 Giants. Marquise Grissom up. He lays down the bunt. Ashby Fields tosses to first, and, well, that's baseball's version of the Big Bang Theory. Grissom and Holbert Cabrera both going down, and Grissom's safe on the play, but he needs some of those salts that Fernandez had going in the Wild game. Grissom a shoulder to the face, and he would later leave the game. 6-2 Giants, first and third for the big cat who's in for Snow, and Brian Jordan, he can't get to it. Rich Aurelia scores. Benito Santiago comes all the way from first, and he's a catcher, so he can't be that fast. Giants go on to win at 9-3. They're 5-0 against the Dodgers this season. Marquise, you know where you are?
7-minute hail delay. Well, sure, why not? Top 8, Todd Jones, Ryan Klesko. And watch Klesko get all of this. He hit it hard. So hard, in fact, it hits the yellow line, and as you'll see, it leaves an indentation in the cement. Klesko homered twice, had 5 RBI. There it is.
2 dents in the ball.
Chunks of cement out of you. Sean Burrow's not supposed to have a whole lot of power, but looks pretty good there. His first of the year, 2-run shot. Top 9, Padres runners on first and third. Steve Reed. Does this ever work?
Not that I can recall.
The way that you make that play work is you take a short step towards third base, and as soon as you make the step, you spin and throw the ball to first.
And late in the ball game, you want to have a one-way lead, and that means don't get picked off.
Got Klesko right there. Bottom 9, Rockies runners on the corners, down 2, Bobby Estalella. Lou Merlone. Oh, the folks in Framingham look the other way.
F-O-N, man.
Rockies only down 1. At the corner again, Brandon Villafuerte facing Ron Belliard, who dragged bunts.
A bunt wins the game in Colorado. How about that?
Wasn't quite as good as the other pitcher bunting there, but Glenn Rush. But a drag bunt is pretty textbook. Harold Reynolds would be proud. Colorado 7-1 at home, 4-6 on the road. They pulled.
In Anaheim looking for more Saturday, tied at 1-1 on. Kevin Apier facing Mark McLemore. Advantage McLemore, his first homer this season. 50th of his career. The Mariners up 3-1. Top of the 4th, 5-1 Mariners. 1 on, 1 out. Edgar Martinez going the opposite way. And apparently it was Tim Salmon bobble the ball night at the Big Ed. Carlos Guillen scores, and the Mariners up 6-1. Edgar 2 for 4 in the ball game. Bottom of the 5th, 2 on, 1 out. 6-2 Mariners. Garrett Anderson, clutch base hit. David Eckstein coming around to score. Anderson 2 for 5. It's 6-3 Mariners. Break out the Rally Monkeys.
Oh, no.
Bottom of the 9th, 1 on, nobody out. Kaz Sasaki in to close it out for the Mariners. David Eckstein says, no, you don't. Here comes Sean Figgins. It's 6-5 Mariners. Next batter, it's Chris Owens. He reaches out for a base hit. So now men on the corners. Next batter, Tim Salmon. Eckstein coming around to score, and the game tied at 6. 2 batters later, Troy Gloss. The fans have got the Troy Gloss Rally Monkeys out. Angels, double steal. Eric Owens in there at third. Same at bat. Gloss over the third, and it's Mark McLemore bobble the ball day. Owens scores, and the Angels win it 7-6 in dramatic fashion.
Would Saturday bring in Oakland? How about a shot of jack from Rafael Palmeiro? Mark Mulder serves it up, a solo shot. Homer number 495 of Palmeiro's career. So is he Hall of Famer? Well, that's a debate for a later date. Bottom 4, Rangers team ERA second worst in the AL. Ishmael Valdez shows you why. Miggy takes the 2-out pitch out, his third. Oakland wins 12-2. By the way, A-Rod struck out 3 times. A brainless fan behavior reared its ugly head during that Oakland-Texas game. Carl Everett hit in the head with a cell phone thrown from the stands. The Rangers outfielder says he will press charges against the male fan who was arrested. This latest episode of conduct unbecoming a true sports enthusiast comes 4 days after an umpire was attacked on the field at the White Sox home yard. Now, Saturday's incident occurred in the 6th inning. Trying to piece together what caused it. 2 innings earlier, Everett tossed a watch back into the stands, and the timepiece apparently hit a fan who suffered a cut on his head. Carl tried to apologize, but we've got a shot of a fan and an arrow on his head. And 2 innings later, now Everett was hit by the cell phone, said he believes his cap kept him from suffering a cut. Here's what Uncle Buck said afterwards.
Nothing umpires can do, you know, security, you know, do what they can do, but it's certainly not something that I'm happy with at all. Just like Carl wasn't. It's tough enough to play the game.
We're on an island by ourselves. It's dangerous to go out on the field and play. That's what Rafael Palmeiro said after this. Now, just this past Wednesday, baseball's Vice President of Operations, Sandy Alderson, said the commissioner's office will spare no expenses when it comes to eliminating the problem of fan violence.
In Brew Crew in Miller Park, 2-1 Houston in the ninth, facing Brady Clark, tying run on second. Richard Hidalgo coming up throwing. They're going to wave Eric Young. And Eric Young is in there. We are headed for extras, tied at 2. Bottom 11 now. There's Young on base again. Royce Clayton facing Brad Lidge. Brad Osmus trying to throw out Young, stealing second, and he does.
It's a great play by Vizcaíno sticking his nose in there and getting that catch.
Emphatic call by Ed Rathawano. Top 13th, Greg's on facing Scott Linebrink to second. Young runs to the bag, throws to first. Nice DP. Hidalgo to third, though. Next guy, it's Brian Hunter. That go-ahead run on third. Here comes Wes Helms. Nice move, gets Hunter at first. Still tied at 2. We go to the 14th now, and Eric Young involved in all these highlights, having himself a game leading off against Linebrink, and he saws them off.
Well, you got to love a veteran like Eric Young trying to make things happen. Even though he got thrown out on that one steal attempt, he is not going to just sit there and take 100 losses in Milwaukee, trying to get things done.
Next batter, Royce Clayton bunts it, Bagwell to first, and Jeff Kent drops it.
Any way to get a guy over. If you can't hit the ball to the right side, make sure you get the guy to the second base no matter what.
Brady Clark deep to left. Brian Hunter on the run. Full extension. He's there. Young and Clayton tag up second and third respectively, though. Next up, it's Eddie Perez, and the pitcher spot is on deck, and Ned Yost has used up all his guys. So Friday starter Glendon Rush on deck to pinch hit the pitcher, pinch hitting for the pitcher. Jimmy Williams, that's with 1 M, decides to intentionally walk Perez to load him up for Glendon Rush, and he puts on the Glendon Rush shift. Rush lifetime, 20 for 72, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, 24 strikeouts in those 72 at-bats. There you see 5 infielders. And this is either a great hit or a horrible bunt.
No, this is a play that Glendon Rush put on himself. Basically, everybody was in the infield. Anything hit to the outfield is game over. Eric Young, I talked to him after the game, said the bunt sign was on. But the pitchers work on this in batting practice, Steve. It's a slug bunt. It's a half a swing when you still have it in the bunt position, and he gets it to the outfield for a game winner.
Wade Miller, 7 scoreless innings. Now 5-0, 0.82 in 6 career starts in Miller Park. Wade Miller, tremendous in Miller Park. And here, you know, he's really an aberration because all these other Millers, including Bill Miller at the bottom here. To baseball tonight, Diamondbacks pitcher Curt Schilling had an appendectomy on Saturday. Schilling was in pain Friday with the Diamondbacks in St. Louis. The pain got a lot worse on Saturday. The Cardinals doctors checked him out and recommended he immediately have the appendectomy. They said it wasn't an emergency surgery, but it was something they didn't want to wait in on with Schilling. He was scheduled to pitch Wednesday's home game against the Expos. He will miss that start. He will skip Arizona's upcoming road trip. As of now, the Diamondbacks are planning on having Schilling's next start come a week from Monday. So the Big Shill will be sidelined for about a week or so. BK Kim on the mound in St. Louis looking for his first victory as a starter after starting the season 0-3. Top 2.
That's a knock.
A lot of right fielders will play in on a pitcher when he's at the plate, but you got to know if the guy can hit or not. Kim can hit the ball, hits it right over your head.
Kim giving him a 2-0 lead. Bottom 4, Tino. Luis Gonzalez, remember that shoulder injury. Looks a lot like the same play right there. Diamondbacks, now the lead is 2-1. And they got Tino on second for Eli Marrero, and Lyle Overbase over there at first base. Coming home. Bad throw. Cards come out of the 4th inning with a 3-2 lead. After the inning, Robin Vaught talking to Overbase.
Probably saying throw over the top.
St. Louis up 3-2. Gonzalez, the 0-2 pitch, and there it goes. 5th. Arizona's up 4-3. Bottom 8 now. Eli Marrero up the middle. Craig Counsell had just switched to shortstop before the innings. He can play every position, so it really doesn't matter. Bottom 9. Matt Manti facing pinch hitter Albert Pujols. 0-2 pitch. Rings him up. Kim with his first win of the year as a starter. Manti his first save since April of 2001.
The experiment moving Manti, leaving him as the closer, putting Kim into the rotation, working for them, not working for the Reds.
4-3 Diamondbacks take this one. Let's show you the Cubs and the Pirates now at PNC. Top four, Moises Alou on first. Hee-Seop Choi, 1 for 4 with an RBI. He's been red hot all week long. Cubs up 1-0. Eric Karros getting a lot pine time with Hee-Seop Choi. Pretty much hitting everything this week. Bottom 5, Mark Pryor gets Rob McCoyak. 2 batters later, Kip Wells batting. Pryor gets out of the 5th, 1, 2, and 3. Bottom 9. 3 outs to go for Pryor's second complete game of the year. First batter, Jason Kendall. Chow under it.
Well, he misses that ball right there. But the reason that Pryor is still in this ball game is simply because Dusty Baker wants to make it known. These guys, he expects them to finish the ball game when you start it.
So this is not a sort of condemnation to the bullpen rule.
I don't think it's a condemnation. I think it's expectation. If you don't have,
They've got an excellent bullpen.
if you don't have expectation for your starters, then who's going to have it?
And this is a gutsy move because with that 1-0 lead, Pryor's putting himself in a jam here in the 9th. So it's 2nd and 3rd. Still 1-0. Randall Simon grounds out to Ramon Martinez, but Jason Kendall comes in, and he left Pryor in, and he couldn't shut the door, so it's 1-1. 2 outs, pinch hitter Pokey Reese on third, Pryor, Reggie Sanders. He went 9, gave up the 1 earned run on 6 hits, struck out 6.
A lot of young pitchers, when they lose their shutout, they panic and start trying to do different things. Pryor didn't panic at all. He continued to make pitches and got out of the inning.
And he threw that breaking ball in the dirt first and second. He struck Sanders out with a man on third with a breaking ball.
But the Cubs come back against Mike Williams. They tack on a few runs and win 6-1. Pryor finished the 9th. Chicago scored 5 in the 10th, so he is the winning pitcher. Show you the Tigers and Royals. Jeremy Affeldt trying to get to 3-0. Top 3, Bobby Higginson. Triple for Higginson made it 2-0 Detroit. Affeldt would have to leave with a blister on his left middle finger. He couldn't throw fastballs, had to go just to curves and changeups. And as you can see, he was very upset. He will have to miss his next start because of that blister on his left middle finger. But the Royals offense bails him out. Bottom of that order, particularly bottom 3, Desi Relaford. His first home run as a Royal makes it 2-1 Tigers. Next up, it's Angel Baroa, the number 8 hitter, and Baroa doubles to left center, and that sets the table after the next batter for the leadoff hitter, Michael Tucker. And again, we mentioned Tucker, the leadoff hitter, but bottom of the order, but these are veteran names, Dibbs, you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Michael Tucker's been around a long time. He's been on winning teams with the Atlanta Braves, and he knows how to play the game. And he's having a field day with some of these pitches at the lower part of the order.
6th inning, 5-2 Royals, and again, more from that bottom part of the order. Relaford drops in a single off Steve Sparks. Raul Ibanez comes in, 6-2 KC. Next up, it's Baroa, and he gets a hold of this one. Rips a double to left. They wave Relaford in all the way from first. 7-2 Royals. Baroa had 3 hits in the game.
And Relaford brings a lot of experience coming from Seattle last year. So obviously now they're all having fun. They're winning a lot of ball games, and they're trying to continue that every day.
Mike DeFelice is the 9 hitter. The Royals 7, 8, and 9 hitters go 6 for 12, 4 RBI. All those Tigers, they're 1-16, 9-2 here.
We saw earlier Jeremy Affeldt getting upset. It's the same blister problem that caused him last year. He holds his fastball just a little bit too tight, and that's what causes that problem.
4th inning, Andy Pettit facing A.J. Przinsky. 1-1 game here. Singles to left. Raul Mondesi's throw is a little bit offline. Bobby Kelty's in there. 2-1 Minnesota. Nick Johnson in the 5th. Torrey Hunter just got his 2nd Gold Glove last night, and here's why. Hit his head down in that turf as he came back down. Got a horrible jump on this ball.
Behind that baggie is a bunch of different poles, and it looks like he rams into one, and then he hits his head on the carpet.
Same inning, Bernie. Another ball deep to center, and then Hunter's got another shot at this one. Did he get it? No.
Don't you love outfielders that sacrifice their body like that for you? Doesn't get any better.
2-run shot, Bernie's 3rd.
They eat free a lot, Jeff.
Raul Mondesi, love that buffet. 4-2 Yankees. Mondesi's got 3 homers in 3 games. Bottom 9, Juan Acevedo. Oh, gets Dustin Moore his 3rd save. Yankees win 4-2. 11 in a row. They have one against the Minnesota Twins. Yankee starters now 12-0. That is the longest season opening string in 50 years. Pettit, 7 1/3, 2 runs, 6 hits, struck out 7. New York off to a franchise best 14-3 start. They did send $32 million Jose Contreras down to AAA Columbus, where he will now pitch every 5th day instead of working out of the bullpen. Randy Choate, 0-2 in AAA, comes up and rejoins the Yankees. Blue Jays at Fenway, bottom 3. Bill Miller stealing second. Throw to center. Trot Nixon scores. That's an error on catcher Greg Myers, and it's 5-0.
You got no play, hold it in your holster.
Just hold it. That's the key. 4th inning, Nomar Garciaparra. Tanyan Sturts, the pride of Worcester, Massachusetts, comes in. Dale Scott says foul ball, but he fouled it off his elbow. That is right on the elbow. And, of course, Nomar's had a bad history of this stuff with a wrist injury. Brady Little not happy. Nomar walked. They didn't able to plunk Nomar's, officially anyway, so they plunked Manny. And Tanyan Sturts said about Manny, I don't know what the big deal was about. He just started yelling, but Dibs, you noted earlier, he didn't start really going berserk until he had 3 guys in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, once the home plate umpire's in front of him and then 8 of his players are holding him back, I'm going to come get you.
No punches, no ejections. Bottom 5, oh, Carlos Delgado, one of 3 Blue Jay errors. 7-2 Red Sox. It scores a pair. Top 8, part of the new no-name bullpen by committee. The other one didn't work out, so they got all new guys in there. Jason Shield, Orlando Hudson, Johnny Damon. That's defensive support. Very next pitch into right. You saw Damon. How about Dirt Dog?
When you get defense like that, you can put a lot of names on the mound.
That's Trot Nixon. 7-2. Red Sox win. They are averaging 6.6 runs per game. Now 12-5 overall. Derek Lowe gets the win here. 3-1. No earned runs in 5. Did give up 7 hits, though. Blue Jays, oh boy, they are in a lot of trouble. They have lost 9 of 10, matching their worst start since 1979. Speaking of problems, let's show you the Marlins and the Mets. Bottom 8, 4-3 Florida. Braden Looper, Robbie Alomar into right center. And the Mets down 4-3 in the home half of the 8th, suddenly have a 5-4 lead. So with Armando Benitez out there, this thing should be a done deal, right? Well, hold on. Top 9 after a strikeout. He's facing Todd Hollinsworth. The 3-2 is not even close. They walk him. Then he gave up a single, so 2 on. Art Howe out to try and talk to him. Juan Pierre with 2 guys on. Mo Vaughn. This is the effect that Benitez is having on this team. Look at Mo Vaughn. He can't believe it. Bases loaded after the walk. Luis Castillo fights it off. Made a career out of doing that. 4th blown save by Benitez already this year, Art Howe. It's tied at 5. Ivan Rodriguez. They are still full. To second, and Alomar does not turn 2. Late throw. We'll talk about that in a minute. Benitez threw 37 pitches in the inning at 6-5. Marlins. Bottom 9 now. Ty Wigginton facing Looper. Looper and Torborg think it was a foul ball. Game should have been over, but no. Wigginton goes to first. Next batter. Looper walks Burnett, so there's 2 guys on, and Shinjo going to come up here and pinch hit. In a big spot, down a run first and second, but a ground out to end the game, and the Marlins win 6-5 as Benitez drops to 0-3. He said, quote, it's only April. Come back and talk to me in 5 months. But still, that's not a very encouraging sign for the New York Mets. His 4th blown save allows 2 runs in the 9th inning, falls to 0-3. Marlins stole 3 more bases. They now lead the major leagues with the 37. Hampton finally back from that calf injury. Top 2 facing Jason Michaels. Strikes him out. Hampton cruising, and then we hit the 3rd inning. Things got a little dicey. Still scoreless. It's Jimmy Rollins. 3-1 to Rollins. Oh, that's upstairs. Leo Mazzoni comes out to talk to Hampton. Hampton said he was trying to keep it down, but was having location problems. Next batter, David Bell, singles to left, and in a scoreless game here, that puts runners at 1st and 2nd for Abreu, and I'll say he's having location problems. Wild pitch, and then later another wild pitch, and the same at bat. Things getting away from Hampton here. He said he was trying to keep it down. Those were both a little too far down, and Bell later scored an Abreu sac fly. Bottom 3, Marcus Giles said about Vicente Padilla, about 85% of his pitches were fastballs. He was saying, here it is, hit it, and we weren't hitting it. Hampton watching that one. That's a curveball for call. Oh, rings him up.
Great movement.
5th inning now. 2-0 Phillies. Still 2-zip Rollins, and he walks Rollins again. We know Rollins got some speed. There he goes on Henry Blanco. Nice release by Blanco, but he's in there. David Bell again. Take Hampton into the gap. Rollins will come in. Phillies will win this game 4-0 behind Padilla, who tossed a 4-hitter, his second career shutout. 82 of his 107 pitches were for strikes. That is phenomenal.
Jeff and I can both tell you that when you're trying to work on things out during the game, it's very difficult to try to find a release point, work on mechanics. You're going to struggle a lot because that's stuff you work on the side, not out in the game.
You see the numbers on Hampton right there.
Reds down 6-3, 2-1 for Ruben Mateo. Zach Day gets him swinging.
The onside público.
There's Ruben Mateo. He goes down swinging. Mateo came in hitting .217, but you get another chance later then. Mateo again with 2 on and 1 gone. That's off Scott Stewart, his first of the year, tied at 6, and they went to extras. Bottom 10 tied at 7. Brian Schneider off Scott Williamson, and it's time to bounce. Expos take it 8-7. Schneider's second of the game, third of the season.
Second half of the matchup between the San Juan Spos and the Dead Reds. Vlad Guerrero, he cut his hair between games for good luck. I should have cut my hair after the A's and before the B's. Guerrero, the home run. Expos up 9-0. Vlad had 5 RBIs in the second game. Top 7-1 on Austin Kearns. That ball's gone. His 8th, and the Reds are down 9-2. Adam Dunn's up next, and Javier Vasquez says, "You're not getting me, you're getting that." He goes down swinging, and then Ruben Mateo, he's coming up next, and Vasquez says, "You can do what Dunn did." Vasquez, 7 innings, 4 earned, 5 hits, 11 Ks. Expos win 9-5. Reds have lost 5 in a row.
Sucks.
Well, we saw a lot of great defense from the outfielders for the Red Sox earlier in the highlights, but when you break in on a ball and you're in the outfield, there's nobody behind you except the wall. And when you're running backwards, there's a lot of guys running around the bases.
Or there's a guy behind you throwing a cell phone.
Yeah. Milton Bradley made a little wrong decision right there. Then you've got a ground ball into the outfield. When you're charging in on the ball, you've still got to get yourself under control. You hustle to the ball, you gather yourself, and you try to make a good throw. That's a terrible throw. Of course, Anderson doesn't make a real good throw to help himself out either right after that. But if you're a club that's trying to make yourself better and trying to teach your young players, yes, you're going to make some mistakes, but these were ugly.
Yeah, you want to make physical errors, not mental errors.
Well, Garcia didn't learn from his first error, and he throws this one wild. I think he must be working on a slider right there, because both of those balls were breaking to the right. Again, same ball into the outfield for Milton Bradley. He breaks in, and I understand outfielders trying to be aggressive and trying to cut balls off, but the bottom line is you can't let the ball go over your head, and you can't make a play like that. Mistakes like that will cost you the ball game.
So there it is, 12-3 Chicago White Sox over the Cleveland Indians. Not a whole lot to talk about there that's positive for the Cleveland Indians. So let's move on and talk about the Devil Rays and the Orioles. Tampa up 8-3. Bottom 9, Al Levine to close. Second pitch to Jose Morban, pinch hitting. In just his second major league at bat, he hits a pinch hit home run.
Oh, Lou doesn't like those kind of things.
And it's 8-4. Jerry Hairston's the next guy up. Second pitch. Oh, you're right. Lou's pulling him. Lance Carter's in there. First pitch to Gary Matthews Jr. to center. It scores Hairston, who doubled before there, and it's suddenly a 3-run game. Orioles back they come. It's 8-5. Devil Rays pitchers at that point in the 9th had thrown 5 pitches for 3 extra base hits and 2 runs. BJ, he continues the theme. Double to right, and now it's a 2-run game. 8-6, Lou. Jeff Conine. He knocks one in there. It'll score Suroff. It's 8-7 Devil Rays. Chris Fazio, get out there and calm him down a little bit.
Okay, son, Lou's getting upset. You better get somebody out.
Rings up Tony Batiste after a Jay Gibbons flyout. Marty Cordova. E-Rays hold on and win 8-7.